now. Welcome to the stream, guys. Today I want to talk about a bit, mostly about the money range, to be honest. Since the money range has been formed today, not today, but on Monday. But today is the first day that I'm looking for any money range plays. I'm actually in a short position right now on Bitcoin. I didn't manage to call it because I was on my way. But I shorted this level right here. Actually clean everything up. So what I did is I saw Bitcoin reaching for this confluence zone, not quite hitting it yet. It also didn't have any bearish divergence. If you look at the 50-minute charts, there was no bearish divergence, bullish divergence. On the 10-minute there was, and then the 5-minute as well. Usually I like to see 15-minute bullish divergence before I say, okay, this could be a local bottom, you know. So I didn't long this. I know other people longed it, but I still want to see Bitcoin reach this confluence zone right here with some bullish divergence. So I'm not in a long, but I am in a short position. So what I did is that I saw. I'm just gonna go into the replay tool, so you guys can see what or how I trade this. This is one trade that I took on the breakout account as well, and it's in some nice profit at the moment. I'm not risking too much on the breakout challenge at the moment. I just want to get started, you know. Like I just want to get a feel for the platform, for the terminal, before I risk more. So right now I'm only risking 0.1% per trade on breakout. And once I get like $500 on the 100k account, I'm looking to increase my risk. It's gonna be slow, but it's gonna be steady. Yeah. Anyways, so this is what I saw on Bitcoin. Again, I wasn't in the long position, so I looked for any short positions. I basically just drew the Fibonacci retracement tool. So I put my Fibonacci tool from on this swing high towards this swing low for our shorts. These are the Fib levels that I was interested in shorting. And then I just waited, right? I waited for price action to get into my zone, and I looked at lower time frame confirmation and lower time frame bearish divergence. Now this was the first time it got into my Fibonacci levels. If I go to the lower time frame, I can see, okay, there's now 30-minute bearish divergence. Now 15-minute as well. There was a try for the 15-minute bearish divergence, but as you can see here, it broke and invalidated the bearish divergence before entering the Fibonacci levels, right? There was no bearish divergence on the 15-minute, no on the 10. And on the 5-minute, there was also no bearish divergence. So even though it reached my Fibonacci levels, I didn't short it yet, and I was waiting for one more push to the upside, and then it forms bearish divergence before I'm entering the trade, right? Now, this was the first time it had some. I'm just gonna let it play out a little bit more, so you can see, so you guys can see what I mean. Okay, so perfect. Now, again, my rules for trading are it needs to touch a Fibonacci number, and it needs to have bearish divergence, and it needs to hit a Woodsbot level. The time frame doesn't matter. So the Woodsbot level can be on the 1 hour, can be on the 4 hour, on the daily, on the 5 minute. It doesn't really matter. Ideally, you want to see a demand or supply zone as well. In this case there wasn't, and ideally you want to follow the trend as well, right? So if Bitcoin is in a downtrend, ideally you want to look for shorts to increase your win rate. This is just the best practice, right? And what happened right here is that Bitcoin did touch the last Fibonacci level that I had right there. So this is the 0.8. Wait, I forgot. The 0.886. Oh no, it wasn't actually. Sorry, it was the 0.786. Yeah, this is right. It almost touched the 0.886, but it didn't. It touched the 0.786 while having bearish divergence, right? So this was my short entry. On the other time frames, I know there was a Woodsbot level, so it all aligned, and I think I also had, also had decreasing volatility, as you guys can see right here. Volatility was decreasing, so all confluences aligned for me. So I took this short position. So this bearish divergence right there was my entry on the candle close. Always wait for the candle close. You don't want to ape into anything while the candle hasn't closed yet, you know. And my invalidation is super tight. Why the fuck can't I see opposition? Okay, now I can see it. My invalidation was just above the size. Right? If you just look at the market structure, it's trending down, right? And if Bitcoin if this trend continues on, it should respect the market structure, meaning that it should form a lower high right here, right? It should form a lower high, and this is exactly what happened. And you can see how it got close, right? Oh. What the fuck happened right here? Okay. You can see how it got super close, right? Like it got super close to stop me out of my trade. But this is why I have my invalidations. My invalidations are there for a reason. If price action were to close above these highs, then I would definitely get off my trade, because then the market structure changes again, right? But as long as price action is respecting the market structure, I don't need to be worried about hitting a stop loss or not. Right, so this is the perfect example why my invalidations are as they are, because they actually invalidate my trades. And you can see it's got super close, but in the end the trade worked out, and I made some nice profit so far. I'm still in my short position. My target is this confluence zone right here, only 4 hour chart. So this is where my full TP target is. I've already moved my stop loss break even, so I'm not losing any money. So my stop loss is basically right here, so I am not able to lose any more money. I've already taken some profits off the table, and I'm still left with 25% of my position. So this is what I did today when it comes to trading. Now I'm looking for new opportunities. Good evening, G2. Now Bitcoin did make a super tight bullish divergence. Like this is extremely small bullish divergence. Like if you look at it, the 1 hour candle barely closed below these candles, but it did make bullish divergence only 1 hour. Ideally, I would have liked to have this bullish divergence when Bitcoin is actually coming into the confluence zone. But you gotta respect the bullish divergence, right? You gotta respect the bullish divergence. Let me actually shortly look at my exchange. I'm kind of interested in this price action right now. Like you have the 1 hour bullish divergence, right? But also on the lower time frame, it's trying to make higher lows right now. So this could be. It's not my strategy that I usually trade, right? But this could also be a continuation long if you guys are trading aggressively. Personally, I still think I would rather wait for Bitcoin to reach this confluence zone. Especially when it comes to the breakout challenge. But this is definitely, this has potential for a nice long, you know. I mean, even if you look at the 4-hour candle, like technically speaking, it has bullish divergence, right? You can see, you see how the RSI is higher right there, and Bitcoin actually made a lower low on price action based on the candle closure, right? Not based on the candle rig, but based on the candle closure, it made a higher low, a lower high. Sorry. So this bullish divergence is valid. The only reason why it doesn't show in the indicator itself is because there needs to be 5 bars between the lows in order for the RSI to count it as a bullish divergence. This is basically the standard definition that it needs to have at least 5 bars in between. So in this case, it hasn't. But technically speaking, it is bullish divergence. So this is definitely interesting as well. I would definitely look at this 5-minute low time frame consolidation that is happening right now. If I were you guys in your guys' position, like if it manages to close above these range highs, right? Like you have this mini range going on right here. So far, no candle has closed above, but this could be a nice long with extremely tight risk management, right? Like you can easily say, like if you see a breakout, you can just use these lows as your invalidation. It's like super tight, like super tight, and you can easily get rigged out of this. And Bitcoin goes into the confluence zone, right? And this is where your long position should be. So this would be really aggressive, but it can work out. But I'm not usually a fan of like these super tight positions. Alright, so for Bitcoin, I'm still waiting for this confluence zone. Until then, I'm gonna stay patient. Or at least I'm gonna be waiting for potentially maybe another low. Maybe sweep these lows into the confluence zone and then have triple bullish diversions on the 1 hour, you know? This could be a nice long. So I'm definitely watching this. I've already set my alerts in case Bitcoin does come down a bit lower. Other than that, I think Ethereum pretty much the same thing as Bitcoin, to be honest. I guess actually it does look kind of it's actually stronger than Bitcoin, so it's not the same thing. But ideally you want to ideally you want to be Bitcoin for Bitcoin to be stronger than Ethereum, and not the other way around, you know. This is seeing Ethereum being stronger is actually making me more bearish. But Ethereum is looking quite nice. Like Ethereum actually managed to close above the Monday range low, right? If you look at Bitcoin is accepted back below the money range low. Meanwhile, Ethereum actually accepted back into the range again. So for Ethereum, there's definitely potential for Ethereum to sweep the Monday range highs. Maybe even, but maybe more. You know, sweep this high right there around 1,944. I'm not confident for Bitcoin to do this, but Ethereum can definitely do this. Hype looks actually fucking good. It actually managed to close a 4-hour candle above the Monday range highs, so it didn't create an SFP. This is important. Yeah, I wanted to show you guys. This was really nice. This was so good. Like if you look at the money range high, money range, right? You have the high right here, and you have the low right here. And this was the this was so nasty. You see how, so this was the money range right here, right? The money range low. And you can see how hype just barely swept this low, right? Like it barely swept these lows by, oh, what is it? Just by 0.11%. It swept the money range lows. But you can see as long as it just sweeps the high or the low, but closes back into the range again, like this is either so if it SFP's right here, right? It did SFP right there, and this would usually be a bearish signal, right? But since the follow-up candle closed at the same level, it's not. And you can see how it barely swept the money range low, and then it had continuous green candles to the upside from the high low until it swept the money range high, right? Like this is just such a beautiful range trading example. Even if it just sweeps the lows or the highs just by a small margin, it still works out, you know, it still works the same thing, same way. The hype definitely looks pretty decent. It's still in this consolidation like that we spoke about last stream, but there hasn't changed too much about it. Like the major resistance is obviously this level right here. So for hype, in order to change its market structure again, it needs definitely to close above these highs, but ideally you really want to see a closure above these highs, right? And if it does that, I can see hype definitely having a nice rally, like a really nice rally, you know, at least towards 62. But it should even go higher than that. Like it could target even the size right above there, right? If I pull a trend line, Yeah, it's also accepting above the trend line as well. So if you see hype flipping this level right here, especially in the daily, but I don't think you need to have the daily close above. I think a 4-hour candle closure above this level is fine as well. It's good look to start really, really strong. Definitely keep an eye on this confluence zone on hype, and wait for price action to close above. What is it? Wait for price action to close above 58. Then you can target at least 62. But I do think it's going towards 73 afterwards. I don't know how long it's gonna take. But momentum is starting to look nice on hype. Especially if it manages to close above 52 on the RSI. And then you can see volatility is at the lows at the moment. On the daily, but on the 12-hour it's starting to increase. So definitely keep an eye on hype. Like, this is starting to form a real nice volatility momentum setup. Do you guys have any questions so far? Do you guys have any coins what you want me to look at? Or any questions about the money range? Or my logic behind my analysis so far? Can you look at Tau? Of course. And hype is really starting to look nice now. But there's still potential for shorts on hype. Like, if you look at the 12-hour, you know, and you pull your Fibonacci, it's not out of the water yet, just yet. You know? It's not out of the water just yet. Is there actually some bearish divergence on hype? Yeah, there's also bearish divergence on hype. So I wouldn't just blindly long hype here. You definitely need to wait for candle closures up. You have the 100k breakout account, right? Are you still in the evaluation? Oh no, actually, like I just bought it last weekend. So Monday was the first day I was looking for any trades. So the Bitcoin short that I took today was the first trade I actually took on the breakout account. And I'm not risking much. Like, I'm only risking 0.1% for the first couple of trades, in order to build some buffer, you know. And then I'm gonna start risking more. I'm not a fan of. I know most people like risk 1% on the breakouts account, and they basically say, okay, if this is not gonna be working out, that I'm just gonna buy another account. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of wasting money, sort of, because I do think the breakout accounts are pretty expensive, you know, especially if you buy a 100k account. Like, if you just buy a 10k account or something like this, you know, they're pretty cheap. But if how much did I spend on the 100k account? I think it was around $900 for the classic evaluation. there's cheaper options with the turbo evaluation, but you only get, I think, 3% max drawdown, and it's nice it's nice to basically pass the evaluation, but I think a breakout account should not be considered like just a trade. I think a breakout account should be considered for something that is long term, and I'm treating it like I would treat it like real $100,000, right? So yeah, today was my first day trade on the other account. So no, I haven't passed it yet. And if you are passing an evaluation with one trade where you risk so much, like it can go really bad, you know. Like in trading, there's still luck involved, you know. Even if you have people with high win rate, like 80%, 90%, you know, you can have an unlucky day where you hit the 10% of your win rate, where it loses your trade, you know, and the account is gone. So yeah, definitely make sure to not risk too much on the breakout accounts. Treat it like real 100k capital, you know. At least this is what I'm doing. Okay, let's have a look at Tau. It's nice to see Tau basically accepting above the resistance right here. You have this supply zone right there, right? Hit the supply zone right here. You have all of these highs right here. Tau managed to close a daily candle above this, but it's lingering around this now support. What you want to see is it needs to keep hold this support and reset momentum, right? Right now the RSI is below the 50 mark, and you want to really see momentum resetting. You can see the RSI is also on 1 hour, but still in the bearish control zone as well. And even lower time frame, even more as well. So you want to see Tau that it keeps holding, and for momentum to get back into the bullish control zone. Until then, I would wait, because you also can see the volatility is decreasing at the moment. It might bounce here. I definitely think it can bounce here, maybe towards this level right here, where you have the Woodsbot level and the small order block right there, right? It can definitely bounce towards this level, but I wouldn't call it like a trend reversal just yet. You probably get something like this, that bounces towards this, comes back down, and either sweeps this low or holds it and consolidates for some time, you know. So you want to see some consolidation, and for price action to keep hold this support line. And if you see price action closing back below the support, like if you see price action actually close the daily candle below, this would be looking really, really bearish. So as long as it holds this support, it's completely fine. I would look for more upside. It just needs some time, you know. It just needs some time. But if you see price action closing back below the range highs, well, that's probably gonna go back towards the range lows, or at least towards this Woodsbot level, right? But it's not ready for a trend reversal just yet. So, alright. Anything else? If not, I think I would call it a day here. I think it has been a nice quick stream. My god, what the fuck is happening with Kaito? Like, did this thing have any news, or what is happening? Every day I look at it, it has like minus 15% every day. I mean, if you're in a short position, yeah, Kaito works. But if you're looking for logs, my god, you're getting whacked. Like, what is this? Every day, 18%, 5%, 12%, 12%. Like, what the fuck? What is the funding rate on Kaito? The funding rate had to be super negative, right? Super positive. So people that are short and get paid. Probably people were super leveraged, longing this coin, and then funding rate probably turned extremely positive, and shorters got paid so much money, right? I think this is probably what happened. But my god, this is nuts. 68%. 68% in 2 weeks. Like, this trade could have passed my past the evaluation, you know? If you just shot Kaito. Crazy. I mean, it gets into a must-hold area, right? Like, this is a must-hold area. Maybe it even sweeps it. But if it's gonna bounce, it should be from this level, right? Like, I don't... Either it dies completely, or it bounces from this comfort zone, in my opinion. I'm interested in to see how... Let me look up the funding rate for this. Okay, it has 0.4% negative funding rate. But this is good for longs. Because longs get paid 0.4% every funding period. I mean, if it's gonna bounce, it's gonna be bouncing from the level. Especially if it has negative funding. But this kind of reminds me of TRB back in the day. I don't know if you guys were already there when this happened, but TRB was crazy. I'm gonna set myself an alert for this. Maybe I can... maybe I can catch... maybe I can snipe this thing. Does it even have bad bullish diversions? Like, what the look at this. It doesn't even have bad bullish diversions. It dumped 20% and it doesn't even have bullish diversions, only 50 minutes. Like, what the fuck? This is pretty nuts. I've rarely seen RSI getting this low, you know. Like, this is pretty nasty. %20 downside without any bullish divergence. This is crazy. I'm actually curious. Do you guys get? Do you know this, guys? Do you get paid funding weight on breakout? I mean, this would be crazy, right? If you get paid on breakout with funding weight. That's probably not the case, right? But imagine just holding, Kaito with 0.4% funding weight, and you just get funded and pass the account via the funding weight. This would be so stupid. I mean, maybe I don't. If you don't get the funding weight, I probably not gonna be longing Kaito on the breakout challenge. And the main reason why you should be longing Kaito, I mean, obviously it's the confluence zone as well, but you don't receive the funding weight. What's the point, right? My God. Yeah, this is fucked up. I don't know what this coin is, but this is why I don't like to trade altcoins anymore, you know. Like, if you're in a random long position, and imagine you're in a long position, you just get fucking wrecked. Like, you can't trust any altcoins anymore. You just can't. Imagine you're in a long position. Imagine you bought spot, right? Like, imagine you thought to yourself, okay, I'm gonna buy spot right here because it accepted above this range, right? Like, look at this. Imagine, like, this is a really fucking strong weekly candle, right? Imagine you buy spot, and this is a nice spot entry, right? It pumped 50%. But imagine you buy spot, you go on a vacation, you don't look at the chart, and the next week you're down 70%. Like, this is so stupid. You just can't simply, you can never invest in any altcoins. Alright, boys. I think this is where I call it a day. Unless you have any last questions for me. Have a cool evening. Yeah, that would be great. Alright, thank you guys for coming. I'm gonna be seeing you guys on Sunday, and I think Woods is gonna be streaming tomorrow. So yeah, make sure to join him tomorrow, and I see you guys on Sunday. Everything is recorded, so I will upload it to YouTube as well. Yeah. Alright, bye bye. Thank you guys for coming.